took the researcher makes a case that you have to look at the same cohort, the same group of people over the course of several decades. You can't do these isolated studies and a cross-section. So once they did this, that's when they found that there might have been a slight down by age 43, but basically it remained the same. I've got to tell you, I have heard more than one person say to me, you know, after my youngest left, I was really deeply upset and in mourning for about 15 minutes. And then I got over it pretty quickly. You know, life opens up when we are in this stage of life. You know, we have more freedom, we have more health, we have more options, and happiness continues until around age 60, mid-60s, even late 60s. But that's when we begin to run into health.
And what do you think fosters a positive outlook at a time in your life when you think, okay, I'm about halfway through?
Well, there's a couple of things we can do. We need to think about what kind of legacy do we want to leave? What's our real purpose? And if we spend more of our time devoting our energy and our lives to what our real purpose is on this planet.
Which acts as a chamber of commerce for the river in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. He says propane, butane, and ethane from the Marcellus Shale are increasingly heading to Europe.
This is going to be a gross cargo on the river that is going to help expand overall the number of vessels arriving on the river.
Rockford says ship traffic jumped 10% between 2010 and 2015. In mid-February, the first ships full of ethane will leave the port of Philadelphia for Scotland. Susan Phillips, State in Pennsylvania.
7:51. Stay with us. Morning edition continues into the 8 o'clock hour, of course. And we're going to get an update on what the snowstorm did to air travel. We'll hear from Steve Inskeep and Hansi Luang at 8:07. Business news is coming up in just a few moments. And I'll push out the forecast for you. Partly sunny, a high of 36 today. Some clouds tonight and down to 27. Tomorrow, partly cloudy in the morning with occasional afternoon showers, a high of 43. Currently 23 in the city, in Atlantic City, 25 degrees at 7:51.
The business resume of Michael Bloomberg if he decides to run for president.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Angie's List, committed to building a local service economy based on transparency, fair prices, and quality work for members. Online reviews and hiring tools at angieslist.com.
For Marketplace in New York, I'm David Ronkatchev. There's Donald Trump building his case to be president in part on his business record. There's fellow Republican Carly Fiorina, the former tech CEO. And the possibility emerged this weekend that former Wall Street financial whiz and tech and media tycoon Michael Bloomberg is at least exploring the idea of running as an independent. The New York Times reported that a Trump versus Sanders ballot would especially motivate the former New York mayor to run using $1 billion of his own money. Marketplace's Tracy Samuelson is here to remind us where Bloomberg got his billions, plural.
Mike Bloomberg pointed out the struggles of the poor and income inequality in the city increased during his tenure. His successor, the current mayor, Bill de Blasio, campaigned on the idea that New York had become a tale of two cities.
Marketplace's Tracy Samuelson, thank you. Since the economic stimulus dropped away, federal budget deficits shrank until now. New numbers from the Congressional Budget Office project that this year, the difference between what the federal government pays and what it brings in will increase in comparison to the size of the economy for the first time since 2009. A full accounting of the red ink comes out today. Marketplace's Kimberly Adams has more from Washington.
The CBO says the deficit this year alone will be more than $500 billion. That's about 2.9% of GDP, higher than initially projected.
The problem we face is that the most popular programs, entitlements, are driving the growth in spending and therefore the growth in the debt
Romina Baccia is an economist at the Heritage Foundation. The CBO says new and retroactive tax cuts are contributing as well.
But what's interesting is there's been a decline among both Republicans and Democrats in recent years in the share prioritizing the deficit.
Alec Tyson is with the Pew Research Center. Lots of people cared about the deficit back in 2013. Now it's been pushed out of the limelight by things like the overall economy and terrorism.
So it's not at the top of their mind when it comes to what they want to see from Congress and the president. But what we also
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Epson with the new EcoTank line of super tank printers. These all-in-one printers feature refillable ink tanks that come with up to 2 years of ink in the box. Where there's business, there's Epson. Epson.com/forbusiness. And by the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation, committed to building a more just, verdant, and peaceful world. More information at macfound.org.
When you go to the movies to watch a film like Oscar-nominated The Big Short or even the more powerful 99 Homes, you might sit there and think, thank heavens, the housing crisis depicted on screen is finally over. Well, don't do that. Here's a story from Dayton, Ohio, showing the housing mess is not resolved. That city is focused on re-energizing the downtown, and at the same time, west of downtown, in a section called Wolf Creek, more than a quarter of the houses are still empty. Lewis Wallace of WYSO.
You can live in Dayton proper and never, ever see this.
I'm in a car with Joelle Jones, Shanice Turner-Sloss, and Jamaica Garrison, about 5 minutes from downtown. But Joelle says mentally we're farther than that.
Unless you're coming to visit someone, what reason would you have to come over? There's no stores, there's no auto center, there's no dry cleaners. Only thing you're going to get here is churches, chicken and hamburgers.
This used to be a thriving area, but after decades of job and population loss, the Great Recession hit, and thousands of homes in Dayton were foreclosed and ended up bank-owned or owned by absentee landlords. They're taking me on a tour.
We have a burnout, which obviously has been sitting for years.
This house has walls stained black from a recent fire. Homes like this can become hazardous or attract crime. At one point, we passed by a big boarded-up house that's not actually empty. Joelle snickers.
I don't think they're in there making a pot roast.
Jamaica starts to back up so I can see the people inside. Joelle and Shanice react immediately.
We